Welcome to Looking at Legal Stuff. Today we have 2 hearings in a case with a couple where Dad claims Mom and her sister have taken their boys and went on the run with them and is now homeless and living in an Oxford house with them. He claims that he and his wife are supposed to have custody, and he's pissed that child support wants money from him due to their aunt applying for TANF. He also claims that Mom has been driving them around with no driver's license or insurance. Mom says that children actually ran away from Dad's and managed to find her on the streets. She says they are living with her, going to school, and not getting into trouble with the law. She says that she's been sober for nearly a year and admits she was driving them without a license, but said she had no choice, and she has her license now. That's just the beginning of this mess. Let's see what the judge thinks.
Next, I have Jedediah Knuth and Kimberly Bender, cause number 243145-08. Looks like both parties are present. All right, give you a moment to get settled. All right, and Mr. Knuth, do you pronounce your last name? Is it Knuth?
Correct.
Okay, all right. Mr. Knuth is present. Ms. Bender is present.
Yes.
We're on today this is a motion brought by Mr. Knuth for a temporary parenting plan. Looks like the records show that Mr. Knuth served those documents upon you, Ms. Bender, on or about March 28th. Did you receive a copy of his motion?
Yes.
Okay. All right. And then I reviewed your submissions, Mr. Knuth, and I also reviewed your submissions, Ms. Bender. Just kind of in summary, there's concerns related to Mr. Knuth raises concerns related to not seeing the 2 boys for roughly several years. He's concerned. He raises issues of SUD, neglect, withholding, and raises issues of SUD or alcohol or drug issues. You indicated that you've been in IOP since July of last year, that you're in a clean and sober living, that you're working part-time, and then it sounds like you have another child, Iris?
Yes.
Okay, and that's not Mr. Knuth's child?
No.
That's okay. And then you're concerned about domestic violence, assault, and SUD evaluations and the like. So I think that's kind of just in general, kind of the feel of some of the issues that the parties raised. Obviously, there's much more. So I'll hear from you, Mr. Knuth. This is your motion for temporary parenting plan.
Okay. Kimberly and her sister have taken the boys while they were on the run and failed to inform us, as me and my wife have been raising the boys for the past several years. I was a single parent before we got married, and we've been married. This summer will be 5 years we've been married. And the boys have lived with me the entire time. And failure to inform me when you pick up the children and take them to a neighboring county, I feel is not acting in an appropriate manner of a parent concerned for the child. And
when did that happen? Approximately
January
of this year.
Yes.
Okay. And have the boys remained with Miss Bender since that time?
I don't know. They have not. Gunnar has not been home in a while, and Odin was home for a while, and then Kimberly was driving him around without a license, specifically his court over at the juvenile building. And I currently have Division of Child Support and Longview School District both breathing down my neck over Gunnar because Kimberly's sister, Erin, who has custody of our oldest child, Haley, is trying to get child support for Gunnar when, if Kimberly is not going to be the one raising Gunnar, I was under the impression state law required you prove me unfit in order to have a third party raise my child.
So right now, Ms. Bender's sister has custody, or that's where Gunnar's living right now?
As far as the Division of Child Support has informed me.
What's your understanding? Where is Gunnar living?
Not where he should be.
And where is that?
I believe that he should be residing with me and my wife
Okay. Is Odin living with you? Where's Odin?
The last time I seen Odin, he was with Kimberly while she was driving without a driver's license to take him to a court for some of the shenanigans he pulled while on the run.
Okay, so the best of your knowledge, Gunnar is living with his aunt
Correct.
and Odin is living with Ms. Bender.
Correct.
Okay. All right. And so your request in your parenting plan is that you be named custodial parent and that Ms. Bender have second and fourth weekends supervised to clean UA 24 hours before and valid driver's license.
Correct.
Tell me some of your thinking why that's your request. Give me a little more detail of what you're asking.
She has not been able to consistently call the boys around like holidays. I mean, if you have issues and things you need to work on, I made a request that she try and call the boys once a month and just spend a few minutes on the phone with them so that we can avoid things like reconciliation that you were discussing with a prior case. If you call and have a conversation and prove to me that you can be consistent with that, I'll skip the courts and let you have visitation. My family's into kayaking and fishing. Meet us at the lake and spend an afternoon with your children. And that was not something she was willing to do. And she wasn't willing to call consistently and have conversation to prove that she has corrected the issues that she is claiming that she has been taking care of.
So your position is that prior to January 2024, there was no contact between Ms. Bender and the boys?
Correct.
Okay. And then did you see, what's your position related to Ms. Bender? Ms. Bender submitted information related to being an IOP and clean and sober housing. What's your position related to that?
Once I managed to get her served, which I asked for an address to serve her at when she took Gunnar to his juvenile court, she refused. And I managed to get a mutual acquaintance of ours to serve her, and I never got served anything back that she was responding to the court.
Okay, you haven't seen the response of Ms. Bender?
Correct.
Okay. Could I just address that briefly with you, Ms. Bender?
Yeah.
You submitted some information related to your position, where you're at in life. Did you send a copy of that document to Mr.
No, I didn't know I was supposed to. I'm new to this parenting
Okay.
plan stuff.
Okay. Well, I'm glad we addressed that point. So what happens that Mr. Knuth submitted some documentation, his motion, submits to the court. I read it and he sends a copy to you. You read it. And so then you have an opportunity then to respond to the court, which you did. You sent it to me and I read it. And then he needs to have Mr. Knuth needs to have an opportunity to read what you're saying. So that way you get to read what he says and he gets to read what you say. And then we come here and then everybody's informed. So we're kind of a little bit short circuited here today because we know what Mr. Knuth is saying. I know what you're saying. Mr. Knuth doesn't know what you're saying. And so that would be important for us to know before we move forward. So right now, can you tell me what's your position as far as where Gunnar is living?
Gunnar and Odin are both staying with me. They go to my sister's during the day while I work, and they are enrolled in school. Gunnar and Odin are both doing excellent. They're not running away. They're not getting in trouble with the law.
Okay.
I did go a period of time without talking to them, but I was on drugs. I've been clean and sober for almost a year, as a matter of fact. Like I submitted, my CPS case with my daughter is reunification this summer. I'm an outpatient. I'm in clean and sober housing. I'm working part-time. I have 2 drug and alcohol mentors. I'm in parenting classes. And I did drive Odin to court because I had no other transportation, but I do have transportation for future
And you're residing in the Portland area?
Yes.
Okay, and are the boys enrolled in school there?
No, they're enrolled.
Okay. And they're doing online school?
No, they're doing in class.
Okay, okay. All right, so this kind of highlights that the concern that I have is that you're sharing this information and Mr. Knuth is hearing this for the first time, right? And so he needs to be served with a copy of the documents that you submitted. And then he has an opportunity to digest that and then we can move forward. So there's a couple ways we can approach this. One is maybe one option is to make a decision today kind of on imperfect information. All parties haven't received all the information and digested it. That's one option, is to move forward today and make a decision. Another option is to continue the matter for a period of time, allow you time to serve Mr. Knuth with your documents. And if he wanted to send a reply, he could submit a reply and to the court and to you. And that would occur at a later time. So those are our two options. So Mr. Knuth, this is your motion. You did serve timely. So we could move forward today with kind of the situation we're in, or we could set it over a period of time and allow you to receive and read what Ms. Bender is saying.
I have two things that I would like to say, but we got distracted with me not getting served. Number one, as of last week, the boys were both still enrolled in LVA as I went down to try and tell when the school district of Longview tried to come after me for truancy, I gave them the case number for the detective I'm trying to get custodial interference charges on and told them, I cannot do anything unless you can make this detective return the boys to my possession.
Is there a current parenting plan in place?
So, long story, try and make it short. In 2013, I got sentenced to 18 months in prison. Kimberly signed custody of the boys over to some relatives, and I went with my mother, who was in the courtroom. She got custody of the boys from the relative that she had signed custody over to. And then once I proved, I believe it was 6 months of holding the job I had in work release and living with the boys, then she signed custody of the boys over to me while Kimberly was not in the picture. I currently have the Division of Child Support for Washington State telling me that Erin, Kimberly's sister, is claiming TANF, so they would like to go after me for child support on Gunner. Both boys are currently enrolled in, as of last week, we're currently enrolled in school district. So I really question how they were able to get them enrolled in school district without unenrolling them. And with the sister having custody of them according to the Division of Child Support, that's not legal, as you have failed to prove me unfit.
So there's no parenting plan in place.
There is no parenting plan in place. I was under the impression that me getting custody returned to me after I got out of prison, while Kimberly was not in a position to attend court or be an active part of the children's lives, was all I needed. I didn't understand until dealing with this situation that we had to get a parenting plan. I thought a custody order was good enough.
Okay, so it's just kind of the historical pattern is what you're relying upon.
Yes.
Okay. So then I guess going back to my initial question related to the two options moving forward today with kind of imperfect, short-circuited process, or setting it over, giving you opportunity to have Ms. Bender serve you with the documents.
I would like to get this handled in a timely fashion, as Ms. Bender's sister, who she's claiming the boys reside with during the day, has not been a good influence on Gunner's older sister, who happens to have a drug problem that follows the path of her mother and her mother's sister.
So when you say timely resolution, kind of kind of still begging that question of whether your position is to move forward today or set it over, it'd be 2 to 3 weeks.
I've already, because someone refused to give me an address where I can serve them, I've already been forced to set this out over a month, as the local police department here and Vancouver refused to be responsible for serving Kimberly, as she is notoriously hard to find.
Okay, so you want to proceed today?
Correct.
Ms. Bender, as far as your position, do you want to proceed today, or do you want to give the papers to Mr. Knuth and come back in 2 to 3 weeks?
It seems like he wants to proceed today.
That's his position.
My position is I can get proof from the schools saying that they are enrolled. I don't know what else he would want besides what I've already said and what I've already put in.
Okay. Hmm.
What I've already submitted, I'm sorry.
Okay. I think that this is what I feel comfortable doing at this point. Historically, it sounded like Ms. Bender has struggled with drug addiction issues, and Mr. Knuth has been the one raising the boys after he was released from prison. And then now that Ms. Bender is doing better, she has the boys as roughly from January of this year. They're still in her custody. There's some dispute of whether they're still enrolled in, but the import of that is that they're living with mom or living with Aunt Erin, I guess. So we have kind of those competing interests of kind of a long-standing residential practice of the boys being with dad for roughly 3 years, mom doing better now and having the children with her, and the best interest of the children is squarely at issue at this point. So there's several issues that I don't have a lot of information on. As far as Mr. Knuth raises issues of neglect by Ms. Bender, withholding of the child, which is kind of interesting. I'm not quite sure how that fits, because of the withholding would say that I guess he's been withholding it since January. That would be your position, and lack of emotional ties. I'll get to your question in a moment. And then Ms. Bender, your position is that you're doing better with your drug addiction. You're clean. You're still working through a child dependency with your younger daughter, and you want some evaluations done related to assault and DV. So there's a lot of things that remain kind of unaddressed and really not fully spelled out for me, that I think I think I would benefit from having our family court investigator dig in a little bit to get a clearer picture of your position, get a better, clearer position of your viewpoint, and then come back in. It would be a fairly quick turnaround time, and I'll double check to see if Ms. Schaefer's on the line. She is.
I'm here, Your Honor.
Ms. Schaefer, do you have I'm contemplating appointing you to do a pretty rapid investigation. Obviously, it's not going to be extremely in depth. It's more kind of just to get basic parameters and get the points on the map, if you will. I'm not sure if a time frame of 3 weeks, and I recognize probably for Mr. Knuth, that seems like forever. However, I'm just thinking 3 to 4 weeks, how that works with your time schedule and your workload, Ms. Schaefer.
Today is the 24th.
So probably May 22nd.
Would I need to have the report to the parties by the 15th for consideration, or?
Probably by the 17th, as long as they have it a few days before.
I can make that work.
Okay. I think I need that. I think that's important in this, where there's a lot of historical information. There's some new information related to schools and the well-being of the boys and the like. There's also the issue, it sounds like, the boys are going over to juvenile. There's mention of driving them without license and the like. So the boys, it sounds like there may be some involvement at the juvenile department. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to play the family law investigator.
Okay.
She will be reaching out to you via phone or email, and I just want to make sure that we've got good numbers for you. So, Mr. Knuth, I'll just verify with you, or Ms. Bender, I've got a phone number ending in 10
Yes,
and down in that is it a Vancouver address?
Fourth.
Yeah, that's what I have
Yeah.
here. Okay, is that a good address?
That's a mailing address, yes.
Okay, but the phone number is valid.
Yes,
She can contact you there.
yeah.
And then Mr. Knuth, as far as you, I've got a phone number
Correct,
and you're on 25th Ave.
correct.
All right, so she'll be reaching out to you, and please respond promptly to her and to share and get back with her, and she'll set up interviews and talk with you, and then she'll get a report out prior to the hearing on the 22nd. And then we'll be back here to just determine, we'll hear the motion of the parenting plan. Mr. Knuth.
The boys have been residing with me for considerably more than 3 years. I believe my mom just pointed out that 11 years. It was 2015 when I had the boys living with me.
Okay.
So 9 years without having visitation rights with their mother.
Okay. Significant issues remain to be addressed, and so the family court investigator will dig into that and talk to you and others, and then we'll be back here on the 22nd to hear the motion that was brought by Mr. Knuth.
Is there any way to get stiffer sanctions put on people for committing child endangerment by operating a motor vehicle with a minor in it?
Anytime that there's concerns related to child safety, the options is that individuals can contact CPS if they feel there's an immediate danger to the child. If they feel that the law is being broken, a person can report that to law enforcement. So those are two options.
On the incident when Kimberly showed up at Odin's court date, I pointed it out to both Calais County Sheriff, Longview Police Department, and was told by CPS that it's not their concern. But the safety of my child needs to be someone's concern. And if it's not Child Protective Services, who Kimberly and her sister have sent after me the last time, 3 out of 4 allegations had already been investigated with unfounded, and the 4th one was deemed not to be illegal. And now I have the police department and the county sheriff telling me that protecting my children is not their priority. They're not willing to risk their badge to arrest somebody for operating a motor vehicle without a license with a minor in the vehicle.
So those are the two options that I'm aware of. So we'll be here on May 22nd to address the issues that the parties raise. So everybody, yes,
May 22nd at what time?
9 a.m.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, we'll see everybody then. Thank you.
I get that phone number
Of
for contacting Kimberly so that if I need to serve her with more documentation, I actually have a way to arrange it.
Yeah, the document, she listed it on her pleading. All right, we'll be in recess. We'll see everybody on May 22nd. Thanks for your input and help.
Your Honor, Jennifer Schaefer, Family Court Investigator, is also here.
Yes, ma'am. And let's start with Ms. Schaefer.
Yes, Your
Read
Honor.
reports. What do you wish to tell me?
This was a tough one, as there are some concerns regarding both parents that I think need to be brought up as concerns. Mom is 1 year clean and sober, but has not had any contact with the children 3 years prior to this. The oldest son ran away due to child abuse, and was on the streets for 10 days and was able to reconnect with mom's side of the family. And both children have ran away from home and ended up in mom's care currently. I do have concerns about where the children should be, and I'm actually requesting that a guardian ad litem be appointed to kind of follow this case, as I was unable to get CPS records, all the school records, with such a short turnaround time.
So as far as you are aware, the kids are currently residing with the mother?
With the mother in an Oxford house with plans to move in with her sister in Vancouver. They are currently enrolled in school under the McKinley-Vento Act. And up until recently, mom was transporting the kids without a valid driver's license and insurance 2 times a day back and forth from Portland to Vancouver, which was also concerning. But I've learned that she has since passed her driver's license test and now has a valid license. I'm still unsure if mother has insurance for them to be transported in the car back and forth.
Mr. Knuth, is there anything you wish to tell me?
I'm highly concerned with issues that I brought up regarding the aunt where she's dropping them off in the day to catch the bus to school. And I don't understand how the act that she referred to is for children listed as runaways. They were not listed as runaways when they were enrolled in the school there. And there is concerns because the aunt that the mother is dropping them off with allowed my daughter to, who was the older sibling in this case, not one of the two involved. And I think with the fact that the boys have lived with me for the last 7 years to all of a sudden have zero contact, and what she's referring to as child abuse was already investigated by Child Protective Services and deemed unfounded.
And Ms. Schaefer, have you got any information on the boys at school attendance at this point?
Oh, I have started receiving some of the documentation. I haven't had that much time to go through it as it's still all coming in because it's coming from one of the children is under an IEP. So you're getting records from the IEP person, you're getting records from attendance, that type of sort of thing. But to answer Mr. Knuth, it was also because they are considered homeless currently is also why they're able to be under that McKinley-Vento Act.
And best information you've got as far as school attendance? I
I think
realize
that they're attending, yes. They're extremely
Okay.
behind in credits and not working at a grade level, but they are attending.
All right. Ma'am, is there anything you wish to tell me?
Yes, I do have my driver's license now. I am getting insurance today. I have no idea where this whole thing is coming from. There's never been a police report or any kind of evidence with that. The boys are still going great. I mean, they're going to school. Everything's good.
So are you living in an Oxford house right now?
Yes, I am.
Okay. And are the kids actually staying with you at the Oxford house?
Yes.
And are you intending to continue at the Oxford house or move?
No, I'm gonna move in with my sister.
I'm sorry?
I'm gonna move in with my sister,
When's that supposed to happen?
like the next week.
How long have you been at the Oxford house?
I've been there, almost a year.
Okay. And why are you moving out?
To be with family support, because my sister lives right next to my mom, and they're my main supporters right now.
All right. Well, we do need to get a guardian ad litem appointed. And who would the next ones be?
Beth Willows, Heather Kale, and Ann Hyde.
And sir, you have any preference amongst those?
No.
Ma'am, how about you?
No, sir.
The first one listed was Miss Fellow, so we'll appoint her. And did you hear what I was telling the people prior about go out to the clerk's office, get the contact information? And both of you need to get in touch with Miss Fellow right away.
I have one more question.
Give me just a second. Yes, sir.
At our last court date, I asked for a method to serve Kimberly because the method I used the first time will not work again. Using members of the community that we've both known for over a decade. When I asked for a way to serve her, I was given a mailing address. And then I filed a motion, but didn't hear back on it in time to serve Kimberly via signed for mail. Can I get that just clarified that if she's not going to give me the address where her and the children are residing, that I be allowed to serve her via certified mail?
Yeah,
What's the,
he can serve me by mail. It's fine.
okay, at the aunt's address?
No, at the address that I'm at now. You have pen and paper.
And if she's planning on moving out of there, that's going to be a temporary solution, not a. It would be really nice to know where my children are. And
Okay, at this point, if it's the Oxford House address, it stays that until there's a new address. You understand that, ma'am? So you're gonna have to arrange for somebody there to make sure you get the paperwork,
Okay.
okay?
And with the guardian ad litem, I only make $800 a month. Is there like a waiving fee?
Well, that's my next question. We'll get to that. So
Okay.
do you have the Oxford House address?
Portland, Oregon. 97206.
97.
206.
And with that being an Oregon address, is there anything special that I need to do to get her to do the service by mail?
No,
Okay, I know for the in-person, there was a different process if you serve in another state.
understood. No, you can, from this point forward, mail any paperwork you need to serve her with to that address. So ma'am, if you move out of there, it's your responsibility to work something out with the Oxford House, so you get that mail, because it's assumed
Okay.
that you received it, you understand?
Yes.
Okay, so sir, are you employed?
Currently, I'm a stay-at-home parent.
You're,
A stay-at-home parent.
okay,
I will be changing that in the near future, but
and you said you're making about 800 a month?
Yes, and I have to pay rent with that now. I have to pay car insurance out of it also.
All right, so right now, this is gonna be paid by the county, but that's gonna be reviewed. Obviously, as we go along, so you both need to be aware of that.
Okay.
Okay. And June 26th then for review, when we've got some information from the GAL. So I can't emphasize enough, both of you need to get that contact information out of the clerk's office, contact Ms. Fellows immediately, understood?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, thank you.